Hello, folks. My name is Jerry B. from Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planner, and I'm here to tell you about our Where to Next 2026 vacation calendar. Starting off with May 2nd on Freedom of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, going out for 5 days. Then we're doing our land and air vacation. You asked for it. Here we're going out to Vegas in 6 days over in Hawaii and just having a blast. And this kicks off on June 17th. Then another one you asked for, we head back out to Alaska again on July 26th on a beautiful ship, Celebrity Edge. Then in October, another trip you asked for. We headed over to Aruba and Carousel. This is going out October 17th on Allure of the Seas. And then our biggest trip of the year is on Allure of the Seas, November 29th, which is our hog biker cruise. You don't need to be a hog or biker to attend. Just come have some fun. We having our leather and lace karaoke party. We having a pool get together. And you got entertainment by me, Jerry B, and my younger brother, Timmy B, doing the show for you guys. So grab your pencil and paper, call Jerry at 920-265-8143, or Pam at 401-368-3275, or John, 703-346-8352. And as always, see you at sea.
Hey, Boo, what's up, man? Welcome back, man. At least I'm back. Yeah, I mean, hey, happy to see you, man, this week. Thank you. I was out on a beautiful 7-day cruise. I'm teasing. It was a 3-day cruise, and it was a crazy weekend. How about yours?
Mine was pretty good. Busy, exhausting, but I'm good, man. I'm ready.
Yeah. It was different because I took my my son-in-law to be with me on this 3-day cruise and let him get a chance to see what a wander of the seas it looks like. Because I've been wanting to get Tiana girls on one of those ships, on the Oasis class ships, and he walked in and he was at awe because it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, it was he loved it, man, because all different neighborhoods in the cruise ship. So now Tiana definitely surely want to go. So yeah, it was great, man. So he enjoyed himself. It was a good time.
Yeah, I feel his awe, man, because that first time that cherry popping experience with
Yeah,
a
yeah,
cruise
yeah. When
is
you went
just
with us, yeah, yeah.
unbelievable.
When you went with us, and I can't remember what ship we were on when you went with us, but yeah, it was one of those, that it was just wow, holy shit,
Yeah,
not, it was just great, So and I got a chance to spend some time with him for the 3 days to see what kind of son-in-law he's going to be. We didn't kill each other, so he's still here, And he was,
okay,
he's a good egg. He really is. She's got a good one.
good,
So
good.
yeah, she's got a good one. A little different than what I expect, but just good because I mean I'm happy for her and him, and he just seems like a solid cat. Really, I can't wait for you to meet him. You know,
Good, good.
I'm sure you guys gonna meet up. So hey, you know what? We
I'm,
gotta, huh?
I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. So what did you
And
do
we'll
this
talk
weekend?
after
Why
the
you so
show.
darn tired, bro?
Man, it was just work. And that kept me busy and yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, hey, you know
But
what?
what I was gonna say is that we'll talk after the show so you can give me the real lowdown on them. So
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what not to try and sneak brass knuckles on the plane next time I come down.
Right, or bringing your nines, exactly. So I get it, man. Absolutely. So we talk about this after the show. But hey, let's get into the show here, folks. Welcome to Respect the Talk. I'm your host, Jerry B, the place where real conversations meet real perspective. If you're looking, if you're rocking with us, make sure you hit that like button, folks. Please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode and don't just watch and engage. Come on, just don't watch, engage with us. So, drop a comment, share your thoughts, and be a part of the conversation. We talk about the things we're thinking about, not always say it out loud. So, if you're ready for truth, perspective, and a little bit of uncomfortable conversation, let's get into it. What we got, James? Come on, talk to me, bro.
So today, and again, welcome everybody. Today we're diving into a shorter list of topics, but that's because they're bigger topics to discuss.
Right, right.
So um, we're talking about the origins of blackface and how it shaped American culture. Then we're breaking down what's really going on in the rising school shootings after the COVID pandemic. Finally, we're looking into the rising tensions between Israel, Iran, and the United States, and how all of that is affecting us not only now, but in the future here at home. It's a lot to talk about and unpack. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.
Respect the talk. Respect the talk. Respect the talk.
All right, we're back here, folks, again, and it's glad to be with you on this wonderful Tuesday, 5 p.m. As always, I got my cup, my red solo cup. What you got, James? Yep, he got his cup. So get
I
your
got
get
my
your
cup.
Yep, get your drink, folks. Sit back and get in a chair and relax with us. And check out our notifications and join us on this conversation. Please, we welcome you. So don't join us. One thing before we dive into here, I found out over the last week or so that, there are actually people out there that are watching our show. I mean, they're watching the show. They don't respond, but they're watching the show. They don't hit like or share, but they're watching the show because they don't want other people to know that, guess what? They're watching our show. Which is fine with me. I'm good with that. And I know that because they come and tell me this. I've had quite a few people come up and tell me, hey, I listen to your show. I watch your show. I'm like, you do? I'm like, well, why don't you put something out there and let us know? Well, we know why. And one of the other friends to know they're watching our show and supporting us. So it's all good. It's all good. But anyway, let's get into this here, segment one. The origins of blackface, mockery in American entertainment. Now I'm gonna read through this because this is really deep. This really gets really deep here. And I know James got a lot to talk about in this one here. So but I'm gonna go through all these bullet points, and then we're gonna dive deep into this conversation, deep into this conversation. So, blackface started in the early 1800s, folks, as part of a minstrel show in the United States, while performers would darken their skins using burnt cork or grease paint to imitate and mock enslaved Africans and free black people. These performers exaggerated stereotypes, portraying black people as lazy, unintelligent, and only there for entertainment. One of the earliest and most influential figures was Thomas D. Wright, who often created the Jim Crow character. That character became so influential that the name Jim Crow was later used for segregation laws in America. Blackface became one of the first widely popular forms of American entertainment and spread across theaters nationwide. And you folks don't probably remember that because you was kind of too young for this, but we jump into that. Even after slavery ended, those portrayals continued into early films, cartoons, and television. This was just entertainment. It helped normalize racist ideas and shape how black people were viewed in mainstream culture. That's why today blackface is widely condemned. It's directly tied to a history of dehumanization. Now, I know James, I'm gonna get James in here, but I'm gonna tell you this because I was born during this time. Not a whole lot of Jim Crow, but I was born still in the 50s. That a lot of that crap was still rolling into. I think we're towards the end of it. I got to look at when Jim Crow actually ended, but either way. The way people treated and blackface was still going on back in the 50s. You watch all the shows. They had the black and white TVs at that time. Christ, we had black and white TV. It took us to the 60s to get a color TV or whatever the crap they were selling then. But anyway, yeah, it was crazy because blackface was widely recognized as a dehumanizing thing for black people. It gave white people an opportunity to get on stage and make fun of us and portray us as less than, which was sad, folks. So jump on in here, James. Come on, talk to me, bro.
I probably saw the rerun type stuff of what was going on, but yes, I do remember the cartoons with um the spriggly hair, twisted braids with one big red bow at the end of it, big red lips, and other than that, it was just a black outline. Um, yes, 100%. That was all about making um it making white people feel comfortable with ridiculing and hating black folks. If you could dehumanize them enough to make them less than human, it was fine.
Yeah.
They're savages, they're beasts, they're nothing more than animals. Um, Nowadays, animals have far more love and respect
Oh my God.
um, than black folks got in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
um, the whole original anti-slavery abolishment movement was based around um, these are human beings too. So we need to treat them as humans. That's where that whole abolition movement came from.
Right.
And to combat that, there were people, the Klan, um, various white supremacist groups that wanted people to feel comfortable with treating them less than.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So that was all part of that. Um, and move that forward, we're talking about, uh, as you mentioned, the 1800s. We're talking about 200 years later, 250 years later.
Right. Yeah.
This is long overdue that blackface is considered um, uh, dehumanizing and something that shouldn't be done.
Right.
So you and I talked before the show started because again you were out on your cruise, so you missed a lot of it.
Right. Yeah.
Drewski has brought this whole thing back to the forefront, and me, along with so many other black folks, see this purely as comedy, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But the backlash that he's receiving is purely because, and much like the rest of the MAGA movement, this is there's an attempt out there to take us back to a time when it was okay to be a white supremacist. It
Yeah.
was okay to think of black and brown people as less than human.
Right. Well, now they're changing their name from KKK to Christian Nationalists or whatever the crap that
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
and all that is the KKK. I'm sorry, you can paint yourself in any other color, but you still a racist Christian nationalist, which is basically the KKK. So
Exactly.
and that's how they're trying to
Exactly.
paint themselves as and try to say, well, we're Christian and we're now Christian nationalists. Dude, you're a KKK member, Klan member.
Exactly.
In a
Exactly.
suit.
You know, when the term Christian nationalist came out um, originally in the late 60s, early 70s,
Right.
that was because the Klan did have a negative connotation even then. That was they're trying to rebrand themselves. So yes, it is pretty much the same thing.
It's the same
It is,
thing.
it is the same organization.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care how they try to portray themselves in American public, and I see through that, and people get upset because I call it, and I think that's the problem that people don't like being called out. They hate the fact that when that's why when I talk about Trump or anybody out there that voted for him, they get offended because sometimes the truth hurts. So when you call them out, then they want to be mad and then they want to get upset with you because the truth hurt instead of just saying, you know what, you got a good point, you're right. They don't want to admit that. But yeah, so they come up with this Christian nationalists want to do this blackface thing again, and then they want to get upset over it because he portrayed what's the name of the Kirk young ladies
Charlie Kirk's
Charlie
widow.
Kirk. We got to show a video. We got to show a little short clip on this here. I'm gonna see if my producer could find this and put this before we talk about this any longer. So you folks out there will know what the heck we're talking about. Take a break. You try to do this here for me.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
How about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the...
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic puck cup.
organic.
Yes, everything organic.
Four, 3, 7. Oh, Hannah, you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who matter most.
Get on your
Okay. All right, that to show you a quick clip for that, folks. Understand what that was all about here, and you know, I guess while I was, you know, we're talking about this because over the weekend I was out of town, and Boo put a thing out there because I guess this comedian did a skit, which was a whiteface skit of Charlie Kirk's wife, if I'm not mistaken, James, right or no?
It's hard to say whiteface. He dressed up in makeup and characterized her,
Characterized her, yeah.
but that's different than whiteface.
Right, yeah.
Whiteface
So it's not
is-
whiteface. He just did a thing and dressed up as her and did a little skit about.
He did makeup that had him looking like Charlie Kirk's wife, as opposed to saying, if it had been a whiteface thing, I think it would be more like he had used nothing but powder on his face. Just in comparison to blackface.
Right.
If he had put just powder on his face and dirty blonde hair, and painted herself with and had his nose to look like more of a beak than anything else, with no lips, that would have been whiteface, dehumanizing type behavior. This was makeup to make himself look like somebody else.
Right.
Mockery of an individual.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's comedy. That's what people got to realize. And I guess the MAGA people lost their damn minds over him doing this skit. And I remember when people were wearing Obama masks, white people were wearing Obama masks back in the day for Halloween and shit. You know, so I don't see why people think this is a bad thing. All of a sudden, this is bad. I remembered an Obama mask. I really do. And people were dressed and looking like white guys and looking like Obama. Nobody got upset about that with Obama mask on. You put that whole head, you know, it's like, but now because another black guy but he does a parody over this young lady who's out there, folks, but you know, she is out there. And she wouldn't have be out there if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk getting killed, because nobody knew who in the hell she was. Erica Kirk? Everybody didn't knew who she was until Charlie Kirk died. And all of a sudden she jumps up out there and runs out there and be the face of whatever that movement is that they have, and the vice president's out there speaking at it like it's, oh my God, it's like, that all it is a bunch of racist people there. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna call it out, folks. Yes, that event is a bunch of racist people hanging out with Erica Kirk. I'm sorry. Yeah, I said it. Be mad at me.
CPAC.
CPAC.
You're talking about CPAC.
No, they got
Yeah.
their own even that Charlie Kirk thing that Charlie Kirk had.
Turning Point
Turning
USA.
Point USA. Turning Point USA. Thank you. That's a bunch of racist people out there because that's all they talk about. Turning Point. What are you turning, folks? Tell me. What are you turning?
Exactly.
I mean, what are you what are you turning? You're trying to turn us back into being your slaves. That's what you're trying to turn and call it Turning Point USA. Turn it into what? Explain it to me, Lucy.
And here's the thing that is most telling about the reason why they are so upset. Drewski himself even stated this, that he's not making any apologies for what he said or done, simply because he has taken things directly from her.
Right.
And all he did was put a voice behind it, a reasonable voice behind it, and said, what the was she thinking?
Right, exactly.
Because what that clip showed, for example, when she talked about we care most about the white men, young white men, that came not verbatim from what she said, because what she said verbatim was more along the lines of we need to, or if you are a young man and you shouldn't feel ashamed, especially if you're a young white man. Those are the ones that are important right now.
Right.
Shit, that's what she said.
Right. That just came right out of her mouth.
And so for him to point at her and laugh because she said something truly ridiculous is fair game.
Right. Exactly. If anybody should apologize, it should be her. She should be up there saying, you know what? He did a parody of me saying something that was totally out of line, and I need to apologize for that, folks. Now that I listen back to what I said coming from him, I should be the one apologizing because that came out of me. So, for you guys to be upset with him over something that I literally said is wrong. And if she wanted to be a stand-up woman, she would stand up and tell her MAGA racist friends that, hey, folks, don't be mad at him. He did a parody. It's a comedy. He said stuff which came out of my mouth verbatim. And it was wrong for me to even say that, so I apologize. So, because had I not said that, guess what? He wouldn't have to say that or put it in the show because I didn't say it. If it was a lie, I could see you guys getting mad, but it wasn't a lie. I said it.
All right. And for those MAGA out there who are trying to compare this to blackface and saying that liberals and everybody who's laughing at it now would be upset if it was a black person doing blackface, no one laughed, like you said. Well, some people got upset about the whole Obama thing, depending on how they went about that. But no one got afraid or got upset with I can't remember Robert Downey Jr. when he did his blackface in, what was that, Tropical Thunder or whatever the name of the movie was.
Right.
In fact, his acting was so impressive that a lot of us didn't even know that he wasn't some black guy.
Yeah.
But again, blackface, and I'll say this: historically, blackface was meant to dehumanize black folks.
Right. Exactly.
However, if it wasn't for blackface, I don't think black actors would have ever gotten their opportunity.
Yeah.
Because they took some of the stupid things that they used in blackface and said, look, if you're going to do that to us, we can do it in a more convincing way.
Right.
So we had our share of the Stephen Fetchits and um the Charlie Chan sidekick that used
Right.
to shake uh, violently with the big eyeballs.
Right. Yeah.
But that opened the door, I think, for some real black artists, that some of the artists that we have today. So out of that negativity, our, meaning black folks' resilience, was given an opportunity to shine. Um, but at the same time, what the argument now that they're using, that if you guys think that his portrayal of Erica Kirk is okay and him doing what it would amount to whiteface is okay, then maybe it'd be okay if we did blackface. I think that's just
Yeah.
an excuse that they're looking to use to go back to, like you said, a time when they could openly mock and dehumanize black and brown folks.
Right. Well, and it's true. But, in the United States, before I do this, there was a gentleman, and I'm going to see if my producer could look this up real quick. It was a movie that came out in the 60s called The Watermelon Man. And it was, I can't think of the guy's name, but it was, I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. And he did a movie where he dressed up as a white guy and got a suitcase and went out there to get a job because black people couldn't get jobs, a good, decent job. So it was called, but a movie, it sticks in my head because it was hilarious, but it was called The Watermelon Man. And it was so funny. I mean, it was just amazing because how he got, all of a sudden he got jobs, he started making money. It was a great show. But yeah, it's called The Watermelon Man. So you guys want to do something, look that up.
Right.
It was
Eddie Murphy.
it was an old movie, and God, what was his name? But it was a great show.
Eddie Murphy did.
There it is. I
Similar.
see it at the bottom. It says Watermelon Man right down there. Godfrey Cambridge. Godfrey Cambridge did it. And yeah, it was a funny film, So you guys want to look something up. It was just in 1970, it was funny as heck how he, So yeah, if you guys want to look that up, it was a great movie. But it's, again, that was comedy. What like my nephew says, boo, you guys want to use that to come back and say and talk about black and brown people. So you want to use that as an excuse to be able to come out here and say something stupid and wind up getting shot because you're being racist. And we know you're being racist. Don't play, and I'm not saying I'm gonna shoot you. Let's not get away from that. I'm just saying you put yourself out there because you put yourself in a position to do something that's going to piss somebody off eventually. Because again, black people and brown people and stuff like that aren't going to take a lot of that crap anymore. It's not going to happen. If you guys want people to go back to the days of slavery, that will never happen. So
Exactly. And just to go along with that, and this is what I was saying, Eddie Murphy also did a skit on Saturday Night Live, where
right, yeah.
and again, that was comedy. Nobody was outraged by it. It was pure comedy, where he dressed up in whiteface and went out and went into different places and stores, and when he walked in, if there was somebody else black in there, he'd have to act like, he was just a regular customer. As soon as the black person walked out of the store, then the guy behind the register be like, "What are you doing? Why are you trying to pay for that? Just take it."
Right, yeah.
We do this. This is us.
That's right.
You don't have to pay.
Well, here's a little picture of that Godfrey Cambridge, of that he was a watermelon man, and how you can see the picture of him where he dressed up in a whiteface and did put a suit on and got a job and stuff. And talking to the black guy with the coffee in the restaurant. You know, it was a funny show. If you want to go back in the 1970s, I know you guys weren't born then, but if you want to go back into the 70s and remember, think the 70s. All you folks out there, whether you were born in the 70s or not, think back to 1970 and then put this movie on and check it out. You're gonna crack up. It's funny in its time. It's real funny, and it's still funny today. But guess what? It's comedy, folks. It's comedy, and what that guy did was a comedy skit about Erica Kurt. She put herself out there, and just because her husband was shot, don't mean you can't make fun of her. You know, she's out there. In the United States, parody comedy is generally protected under the First Amendment as a form of free speech and expression. Legally, it often relies on the fair use exception to copyright infringement, which allows the use of copyrighted material without permission for purposes of criticism and commentary. Key legal principles, folks, key legal principle. Definition of parody: a work that imitates another, typically in an exaggerated comedic fashion, to make a point or commit, especially on the original work, artist, or the style. So people can do this, folks. So get a life, get over it. It's comedy. Basically, what we're trying to tell you. So don't come up and do this crap talking about, well, if you can do that, then we can do blackface. No. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You know, that's almost like saying, well, because that black guy in the song said the N word, I can say the N word, and I'm a white guy. No. Don't compare the two, dude. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Well, he called his other friend right in front of him the N word. Dude, that don't mean you can. No, you're a white dude. You know that. You ain't got it like that. Don't play. You know. So
Right. I mean, if you want to compare it to something that we all can kind of relate to, women can call each other
B.
The B word or the C word, and let a man try that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let a man try that.
Yeah.
There's no difference there.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for bringing that one up, because that's the same scenario. You know, me and my wife was talking about that the other day, last week sometime, and we was talking about how even on TV they be like, "You bitches." The girls call each other "you bitches" and stuff like that, and it's okay. You know, it's all funny. Or you see that people in the bar, oh, you guys a bunch of bitches, girls talking to each other. It's okay. Let her, like you said, let a man call a woman a bitch. Oh my God, it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
You know, don't you call me no bitch. Wait a minute. She just called you a bitch. Why can't I? You know? Because she's a she.
Exactly. So there you go. That's kind of the difference.
Yeah. That is the difference. Hey, you know, we're going to take a quick break here, you guys, because I know that first segment was kind of long, which is fine. That's a half an hour. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back at you with the second half. We'll be a little bit shorter. We get a couple more conversations in here during the next half. Be right back, y'all. Stick around. 2 and 2. See you. Be right.
Hello, folks. My name is Jerry B. from Pride and Glory Travel Cruise Planner, and I'm here to tell you about our Where to Next 2026 vacation calendar. Starting off with May 2nd on Freedom of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, going out for 5 days. Then we're doing our land and air vacation. You asked for it. Here we're going out to Vegas in 6 days over in Hawaii and just having a blast. And this kicks off on June 17th. Then another one you asked for, we head back out to Alaska again on July 26th on the beautiful ship Celebrity Edge. Then in October, another trip you asked for. We heading over to Aruba and Carousel. This is going out October 17th on the Allure of the Seas. And then our biggest trip of the year is on the Allure of the Seas, November 29th, which is our hog biker cruise. You don't need to be a hog or biker to attend. Just come have some fun. We having our leather and lace karaoke party. We having a pool get together. And you got entertainment by me, Jerry B, and my younger brother, Timmy B, doing the show for you guys. So grab your pencil and paper, call Jerry at 920-265-8143, or Pam at 401-368-3275, or John, 703-346-8352. And as always, see you at sea.
All right, folks, we're back here again. Hey, before we jump into the next topic, I got to tell you about my trip this weekend, because one of the other reasons I went out there is we got to see, because on a big cruise we got going out November 29th, we talked about that in the commercial a few minutes ago. We're going by Nassau, which has the Royal Caribbean's brand new Paradise Island. We'll be talking about that, and I'll be showing you some videos on that next week. So stay tuned next week on this show, because I did take a couple of videos of it, and I'm going to add that to it so you can see, and we're going to talk about the big cruise on November 29th, and you get this chance to see firsthand Paradise Island, which is in Nassau. Anyway, let's talk about school shootings. What changed? Pandemic drop, post-pandemic surge. Lately, it feels like school shootings are happening more often, especially with the most recent incidents staying in the headlines. During the first year of COVID-19 pandemic, when schools were closed, there was a major decline in gun violence incidents on school grounds. With children learning remotely, and physical environment where these incidents happened was largely removed. Once school reopened, the numbers didn't just return, they increased significantly. Recent years have shown a sharp rise in 2021, 2022, 23, and 24, all setting record numbers of school shootings incidents since at least 2008. There were at least 83 incidents in 2024 alone, showing how frequently these events have become. The year 2022 stands out as one of the deadliest, with 47 fatalities reported according to CNN analysis. This shows a shift not just in frequency, but in severity of these incidents. Compared to the early era of violence dominated by serial killers, this is more immediate, more public, and happening in places people once considered safe. The conversation now isn't just about why it's happening, but why it keeps increasing. These topics come from the headlines: 15-year-old school shooter's teacher then fatally shot himself. That was just recently, I think it was just last week when this happened, where he shot a teacher, and I've seen this. And, and here we go back to, our thoughts and prayers and all this other stuff. They trying to change some things, like they trying to start blaming the parents, for stuff like this. And jump on in here, James. Let's get this topic a couple of minutes so we can jump on to the next one.
Yeah, that most recent one that seems to stay in the headlines actually happened near me here in Michigan, roughly 6 miles from me.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, at a synagogue near me, synagogue school. There was a time when I didn't think that the pandemic had really influenced this. But I think it has. I think it has. I think we ended up with roughly a year and a half of students being sheltered from the real world, basically. That during that time, the only way I can really truly say this is during that time, people.
You're trying to clean this up with something, man.
I'm trying to, but it's not working in my head. During this time, people spent way too much time with each other and learned, and just simply because of the closeness of each other, you learned more of the negative stuff that you would have missed by being surrounded by larger groups. So people got more free with saying and thinking stupid stuff. A lot of people went down crazy, unrealistic rabbit holes that under normal circumstances they would have looked at. They would have talked to one of their friends. Their friends would have ridiculed them about it, and they would have said, okay, yeah, maybe that was dumb. And they would have been shamed into thinking a normal thought. We spent a year and a half where a lot of people were left to their own devices, and with the way the algorithms work on the different apps that we have, if you start going down a rabbit hole, If you start believing one thing, you get the algorithm shows you more to reinforce the stupidity. And we've moved away from survival of the fittest to survival of even the stupid. And the algorithms on the computers and all these different apps
Yeah.
allow for that. It allows for reinforcement of the dumbest
Yeah, yeah, I know you want to say, yeah.
Man, watch that.
But bro, here's the deal though, I mean, yeah, COVID didn't help because everybody got locked down, but I'm gonna take this way back because I'm a firm believer in this crap started happening when the government stepped in people's lives, started telling them they can't spank their kids. Because I mean, if I was in my house, whatever, 30 days with my kids back in the day because school was out, I guarantee you there'll be a few times they would have had it. I'm gonna say it, yeah, well whooped ass a few times in there because I don't play. I don't play. Period.
Absolutely.
So those 30 days they would have learned a lot more from me because I don't play. I was told, no, you're not doing this and you're not
That,
gonna act like this. Versus today, they've talking that time out and putting them in the corners and all these counselors all out here. You can't spank your kids. You just tell them time out and get in the corner. I remember going to grocery stores and the kids were sitting up there acting up and falling all out on the floor. And the parents sitting there talking about, I'm going to put you in timeout. I looked at her like, you lost your goddamn rabbit ass mind. You going to do what? You going to put them in a corner? My parents would have grabbed me up off that floor, beat my ass right there in front of everyone and said, now you got something to cry about.
yeah. But that's just reinforcing what I was saying. That same group that no longer disciplines their child, there's also that group out there that is racist, uncontrolling.
Yep.
They don't have their own way of thinking. They have no self-control. They have no morals.
Right.
Kids are now surrounded by that. They were surrounded by that for 24 hours a day for a year and a half.
And then you put them on those games where they got those shoot 'em up games, and all they do is sit there and play those video games. And they were like, "Oh man, this is cool as hell, man! I can get out here and rob a bank. Man, this is cool. We got to try this."
Right.
Just stupid stuff because hey, what's the name won a lawsuit last week, and this always pissed me off because they took Facebook and all them to court for Meta. Whatever Meta, I know Meta is that technology that keeps their kids supposed to be bringing their kids and psyching them into keeping them entertained on Facebook where they can't get away from it. So they sued Meta company and they won. They literally won $4 million. And I'm like, how in the hell does that happen? Let me explain to you folks something here. This is a cell phone. Okay. It's like there's a commercial that came out. This is your brain. And they threw it in and there was an egg. Then they cracked the egg and put it in a fryer pan and said, this is your brain on crack. I don't know if you remember that commercial. And it was really heavy in telling people, you're frying your brain by being on crack. Fam, let me tell you something out here, folks. Again, we're just talking about that. If I don't want my kids on the phone because of Meta, I don't give a shit who it was back in the day. My parents would have took that from me. I don't care. You could have spit, you could have jumped, you could have did anything you want to do. You're the one putting this crap in your kids' hands. You're the one buying your kids these phones. They cannot be brought in by Meta if you don't give them the damn phone. You gave them that's like saying, hey, I'm gonna give you a gun, but don't shoot nobody. But here's a gun. You gave them the product. You're the parent, and you're too scared to take this away from them because of what's going to happen. So you go out there and sue Meta, saying they brought your kids in and got them addicted to. So what? Take it away from them.
Exactly. I'm from that generation. I forgot what TV show it was, but it showed that I'm from the generation where, as a kid, we were babysat by the TV.
Yeah.
But as a kid, being babysat by a TV, I had limitations to what I could watch.
Right.
My grandmother would put on Channel 11, WTTW, and from morning till night, all they showed was Sesame Street,
Kid shows.
The Electric Company, Zoom, and if I was lucky, I might be able to watch a cartoon on Saturday and Sunday, but even those were designed around teaching kids
Right.
some moral.
Some knowledge, yeah.
Nowadays,
Nope.
no.
Mm.
No. You
No.
got you got cartoons like Pokemon. What are they trying to teach your kids?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. No,
You
no
got
clue.
you got shows out there that are literally cartoons that are designed to be shown to adults.
Yeah, I know.
But
Yeah.
parents, all they see is that it's animated and they stick their kids in front of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. And then they want to get mad at everybody else but themselves. Again, that's that same thing we're talking about. Hey, folks, this is Respect the Talk. So we're going to tell you the real deal of what's on our mind. We're not going to sit there and give you a snow globe of what we think. We're going to tell you exactly what's on my mind. You gave this to them. You created this problem. They did not. It is up to you to be the parent, to take it away from them. I don't care how upset they get. I don't care if Susie Q down the streets got one, but so I want my daughter to have one, or I want my son to have one because Bobby Joe down the streets got one. No, it is your job to be the parent. If you think that matter or anything else is getting to them, take it away from them. Put them on like a 2-hour a day span. No, you're only going to use your phone for this amount of time, and then shut it off. Who cares? Tell them watch TV. Go watch something on TV and a good education show.
Read a book.
Read a book. Yeah, pick a book up and read a book. But they don't need to have this in their hands, and you sitting up there selling people that Meta grow my kids and pulled them in, and they got them addicted to. So they didn't get them addicted to anything. Are you freaking kidding me?
Be a parent. Part of your job as a parent is to prepare your children to live on their own. If you can't even control them enough to say, this isn't good for you, or you can't take the time to preview something before you let your kids get a hold of it, then you don't need to be a parent.
Right, exactly. And they were telling the real truth. That's what they call respect the talk. That's telling the truth out there, folks. Be the parent. Let's jump into Israel. Let's jump into segment 3. Israel, Iran, and the U.S. from the tensions to the edge of the war. Okay, we're going to get some talking points, and then we're going to get right into this thing. Right now, tensions between Israel and Iran have escalated to a point where many are questioning whether this is an effective war or not. Iran has been linked to supporting groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, both of which are in direct conflict with Israel. Now, I could read all this stuff here, but we don't need to read it. We're going to talk a little bit about it because the average gas price now, and I think somebody actually got on, I think we talked about this last week, because, how do I say this? Even the Republicans kept trying to say, well, the Democrats were weak, the Democratic presidents were weak, and all this other blah, 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 back in the day. That's why they didn't go to war with Iran. They want people to believe that. Folks, okay, but put your head on, put your eyes on, put your real eyes on, okay? Don't be talking about your lying eyes. Put your real eyes on. When you go to the gas pump, and you pay $4.29 a gallon, which it is the current average. It's about $4.18. But here in Cape Coral, Florida, it's $4.29 a gallon. I just seen it. I was in the street. And you sit there and say, wait a minute, why is gas $4.29? The Straits of Hormuz was shut down. And how do I say this? I'm trying to see now. I'm trying to be like you, Junior. I'm trying to say this politely,
Trying to clean it up.
and I'm trying to clean this up here. I used to argue with some Republican friends of mine talking about when the price or when the price under Biden went up there and people were saying blah 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 blah. I'm like, look, Biden, no president controls the gas price. I couldn't get that through their head. They said, oh yeah, they closed the pipeline down, all this other stuff. No president controls gas price. I'm telling you, OPEC, all the other stuff. We're the richest country. We produce more oil in the United States than anybody. Well, here's a prime example, folks. If we produce that much oil, which everybody says we do, why is our gas prices jacking up then? Why? Because it's tied to the world economy. That's why. If you take out 20% of that gas oil, that's taking, I don't care how much we produce, that's taking 20% of what we're producing out too. It affects everybody. It's not just, we're producing more oil than anybody in the United States. Folks, if that was so true, then our gas price would be lower than any place. And the reason it jacked up there is because the Strait of Hormuz got shut down. You can't get oil through. So now, guess what? Our price goes up because it affects the whole world. I don't care how much we're producing, it still affects the whole economy, the whole system, y'all. It's one. It's one big ball. You guys got to stop thinking in your head of one lens, one-sided, of, America's the greatest country, we got all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Get the hell out of here. Give me a break. Come on, jump on it, James.
There's so much to this. And like you, I've always said that a president cannot change the price of gas. However,
he could affect it.
He can affect it. And this is where we are now.
Right.
This president that we currently have has gone to war with a major player in the economy and in the world.
Right. And that's what I was trying to get to, because that's why that when they were trying to say all the other presidents were weak. No, the other presidents were smart because they knew this would affect the world economy. If you get over there and do something this stupid and reckless, it's going to affect the whole world economy. So it's not that these past presidents were stupid or weak. These past presidents were smart and they knew better because that's why they tried to deal with it through diplomacy, and work out deals with them like Obama had, which they had that who ripped it up, like a jerk, and see where they're at now, huh?
More flies with honey than vinegar.
Yeah,
that's what it amounts to. For those who don't know, you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. In other words, if you do things on a diplomatic level, you can accomplish more in the long term.
Right, because look where we are now. He went in there guns blazing. Then he's got this stupid idiot for the director of defense or whatever, the Department of Defense, sitting up here talking about he wants to bomb. I don't know what the hell's on his mind that he wants to bomb, and who in their right mind would want to think like that?
Right,
it just
because we talked about this as well. We have created some of our own worst enemies. Some of the biggest terrorist organizations out there, we have created.
We created them. Yeah.
And it's simply by that mentality to bomb. And globally, people need to get away from watching Fox.
Yeah, they have to get away from that.
Watch channels, news organizations from overseas.
Right.
Watch BBC. Watch Al Jazeera.
Right.
Those two are overseas, outside of the control or some of the control of American media.
Right.
Yeah. American propaganda has always been a thing.
Absolutely.
And all those shows and movies and books that we've heard about, 1984 and everything else. What was the other one? 451 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
All these movies are based on the fact that our government has control over the information we get.
Yeah.
Yes, we have more freedom than, say, Russia, or at least we did.
Well, yeah. But look
where
at now,
it
we
was
got this guy
taken
suing
from
everybody
media. Exactly.
and
And
want
we
to take him
got,
off the
and
air.
everybody's afraid. Everybody's afraid to tell the truth.
Right.
Only thing that, and there are people out there who are chanting along with him. It's all a lie unless it comes from him.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I say.
You
These
know,
people out here losing their damn mind following this nut. And then they get mad because you say something about them. It's like, dude, you know the truth hurts. We're not telling you anything. You know this. It's wrong.
and common sense just seems to like miss half of his followers.
Yeah.
Because we can literally go through a 48-hour period where we bombed them, he declared victory, he asked for, or we bombed them, he declared victory. It's a one and done deal.
Right.
To we're winning, from we won to we're winning,
Right.
to we need help
We need
from
help
other
from
countries, from other NATO countries, to no need to ever have boots on the ground.
Plus
to
$200
we
billion
want
now.
to now we're sending people over to now he needs how many, what was it?
$200 billion.
$200 billion.
Yeah. Of taxpayers' money.
Simultaneously, he's saying that they need to open up the Straits of Hormuz, or whatever it is.
Whatever, yeah.
To it was never closed, to it's safe to go through, to they better not, or they better let our ships through, to I mean, it's just been all back and forth. And
Right.
this has been going on for what, a week now?
Oh,
And we've heard 300 different billion things.
Well, this
And
has
at the
actually been
same
going on
time,
for almost a month now that he said when he started this crap, and everything's a lie. You know, I mean, everything comes out of their mouth is a lie. This is going on. This is going on. There won't be no boots on the ground. Now he's sending 10,000 troops over, and it's all this is constantly a lie. And it's people that are following him. And folks, you want to if you're listening to me out there, I know you don't want to click check like you like in the show. That's fine. But if you're listening to me out here, you know damn well that this is BS. The man then lied to you, and he's still lying to you. And every time he opens his mouth, he's lying to you. I know you don't want to hear that. But it is true. He is lying. If his mouth is moving, he's lying. He's lying.
Right.
And that Pete Hegseth is the same. He's cut from the same cloth. If his mouth is moving, he's another one, just lying. Just lying. He's everything that comes out of his mouth, they're going to tell you stuff that you know damn well isn't the truth. In your head, you know it's not true, but you want to believe it because you're sitting up here seeing these people. Well, Pete Hegseth said it, or well, Donald Trump said it. Instead of letting your own brain think for yourself, folks, stop the nonsense. Cut it out.
I for the people who are so headstrong and following this guy, I want you to do three things, and do it within yourself. You don't have to advertise to anybody. This is just between you, yourself, and your conscience.
Right.
Ask yourself these three questions. How many mental gymnastics have I had to jump or do in order to stay following this guy? How many times have I had to change my moral compass to follow this guy?
Right.
And three, how many times have I moved the goalpost for this guy?
Right. Yeah.
Those three things. If you can say never, then hey, you got the right one, baby.
Yeah.
If not, if you can say that you've had to do 1, 2, or 3 of those things at least twice, and my guess is that you're going to come up with at least 10 per.
Yeah.
You know in your own heart of hearts that this guy is wrong.
Yeah.
This guy is wrong for you, for the rest of America, for just the future of this country.
Yeah. Well, you know, and because here's the deal, folks, you know, because I've heard you guys out there saying, you know, well, look at the gas price. I remember when gas got down, and we talked about it on one of our shows before this happened. and how well gas is doing. And people were saying, look at the gas price. Look, he got gas price. Well, I remember when gas was $2.78. It was $2.78 under Biden too. I remember that time. Oh, no. Look at Trump. Look where he's got now. He's got a gas down to $2.98. Now we're at $4.29, and they don't want to accept that. Well, we had to be $4.29. It's only supposed to be there for a little bit. At least Trump says it's going to hurt for a little bit. And you believe that crap? I mean, what the hell you mean it's only going to hurt for a little bit? Hurt who?
And that is a lie.
Right.
That is a lie. Let's look at the whole COVID debacle. I mean, that should debunk this lie just in itself. We are not so far removed from COVID to know, excuse me, that this is a lie. During COVID, we had a disruption of the supply chain, mostly because of company shutdowns and stuff like that, because of the pandemic directly. Now, the supply chain will be disrupted again, and they've already started.
Right.
It will be disrupted again. The cost of fuel is going to continue to increase, which will make it more expensive for us to transport things.
Right.
The government here has already authorized the use of adding another 5% of ethanol to our fuel, basically turning regular gas into E85. And for those of you who don't know what E85 does, E85 is a lot cheaper because you're getting a lot less fuel per gallon.
Junk, right.
You're getting filler. So newer cars are equipped with a fuel system that will run off of E85. If you have a car older than 2000, unlikely.
Yeah.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
2010, maybe.
Right.
But so you're already looking at the government okaying for you to get less gas,
right,
less fuel. And that less fuel, more garbage, more filler,
yeah,
also gives you horrible gas mileage.
Yeah, horrible mileage. It's almost like adding water to the gas, to mix water
Exactly.
with gas to stretch it out, and it doesn't work, folks. It just doesn't work.
So you're gonna get either lower gas mileage or a damaged car.
Right.
Those are your two options once they turn all the regular gas into E85.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, and I know we got to get up out of here, folks, because it's getting there. But I want to talk about some other stuff. We talked about this, but everybody knows it. I mean, we don't have to keep repeating this and beating it over your head, folks. Get away from Fox News. I can tell you that right now. I know you want to say, well, you need to get away from CNN. I'd watch Fox News and I watch CNN, and I could see Fox is strictly all about, lying. I mean, that's why they got sued. I mean, I sit there and listen to them, and everything they say is just repeating what Trump says, which we know Trump is lying, and Pete himself is lying, and all they're doing is just repeating what them two are saying, and sticking by them and running with it. At least CNN has other Republicans on there where they can talk against. You can get both sides of the story then and talk to them, but this is crazy, folks. This is nuts because I know you're hurting. I know you're hurting. When you go out there and fill your tank up and it says $80 after you filled your car up, I know you're hurting. So don't sit there and smile like I voted for him and I'm happy I'm paying this $80. Don't play. Don't play and don't be insulted. This is, you can be mad. You can be mad because you voted for him. Please. That makes you human. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes in our vote. Not everything's going to be perfect. Just because now I got some people that did say, yeah, they can't. Now they actually turning against. Not turning against, but they pissed off about what's going on right now because this is not what he promised them, and they can't handle that. They're struggling because they can't handle that. So I don't know, bro.
He has he has broken almost every promise that he made during his campaign. No new wars, ending the conflicts that we were currently in on day one, lowering prices on day one, improving the economy, reducing inflation, grocery prices, you name it. The only promise that he's kept, and on a world stage, it's an embarrassing way of keeping it, was this immigration thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And he did a horrible job at that.
Exactly. It's embarrassing on a world stage.
Yeah.
I mean, on a world stage, our allies are no longer coming to our aid. On a world stage, we're being mocked by everybody
Right.
to the point where even our allies are quietly laughing.
Yeah.
You got Russia, China, Korea, all with their own AI attacks on us.
Yeah.
And the sad part is that, like Drewski, they don't have to go too far away from the truth in order to make it sting.
You know, I'm sorry, we going over, folks, but I got to say this and talk about this for a couple of minutes, because people say, you know, you listen to your politicians and they talk about, well, we got to fight them over there so they don't come over here. Let me explain something to you, folks, because I mean that's the rationale that you guys want to use for this war. The United States has not been attacked since 18 something. There has not been, and that's when England came over or whatever and attacked the United States.
We were attacked in Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor. Yeah, that's yeah. Anyway, okay, what year was that then?
1930.
Was that 42? Was that 42 or something like that? Anyway, okay, wait. Even at that was the last time someone came into our country and attacked us. Okay, they don't attack us by sending troops in airplanes over here to attack us. They attack us by sending one guy, or maybe the airplane when they did the 9/11. That's how they attack us now. So for you guys to think, and you can't stop that. Let me get this straight with you guys. That you cannot stop, because they sneak into this country somehow, some way, under every president, and they do this kind of stuff. That's how they did that under George Bush. You know, they can't get into this country because they're doing it one at a time. So all we're doing by bombing these people is making more people that's going to be upset with the United States, that's going to come over and do these suicide bombing, because they do not care. They're going to be doing it in the name of Allah, in the name of the sun, in the name of the moon, or whatever they can call themselves. I'm thinking when they do it, they're going to get 15 virgin wives and all this other crap. You know, so yeah, Pearl Harbor, 1941. Thank you, producer. I knew it was something like that. So when you say that stupid stuff that we got to go over there and fight them before they come here, they are not going to send boats and airplanes in the United States. That will never, ever, 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 ever happen. So listening to that nonsense that our Congress people or Republicans are telling you, it's nonsense. It's all nonsense. It won't happen. China's not going to send 15,000 or 100 airplanes into the United States and bomb us anymore. That will not happen because our defense system will not let it happen.
Okay, I hate to disagree with you, but thanks to this conflict, Iran was sold missiles that can now reach us in Central America.
Yeah, but we can catch that and blow them up. I mean, our defense system is so great that we can catch that before it even hits us. I guess that's my point. We have had this defense system in place for quite a while, to knock down anything that might be coming into our airspace. That's like a missile or bomb or anything. We did catch, 17,000 meter that hit Ohio. We can knock stuff out because of our defense system is set up that way to cover us. So I just don't know, when they sit there and say we got to go over there and kill them before they kill us or come over here. They don't send troops and warships over here like we send over there. How many ships did we send to Iran?
Far too many.
Yeah, but but if we're not going to see China send that many ships coming across the ocean at the United States and us not catch it before
No,
they get here.
we are unlikely to see traditional warfare waged against America. You're 100% correct. We are unlikely to see that. However, I do believe that your faith in our technology is a bit
Well, I don't
misguided.
don't think. Wait a minute. Well, I'm not totally faithful of our technology in our country.
If that were the case, the thought of nuclear war would not scare us, because nuclear warhead is just a nuclear bomb attached to a missile.
Right.
So if your faith was totally correct and totally on point, we would not care about a nuclear war. We would not care if Iran had nuclear missile or nuclear capabilities. The fact is that we don't have a all-encompassing, all-powerful air defense system that will stop anything from getting us.
Right. And okay, you're probably right. But here's the deal. The reason that they didn't want to have a nuclear war, and this is way before you were born, and when nuclear system warheads came out, is that everybody had them. Well, not everybody, but Russia had them, China had them, and a nuclear war will wipe out the whole world, and that's what stopped that. Because if they shoot nuclear weapons our way, we go. There was a movie out called that. I can't remember the name of it. It was an old movie. They kept playing it just not too long ago with these kids, and they had everybody was shooting their nuclear warheads at each other's country, which was destroying the world. So it's not like they gonna shoot us and hit us with nuclear weapons and we're not gonna shoot back. So everybody realized in their right mind that we cannot have a nuclear war because we're not gonna be the only ones dying. They're gonna die too. I don't give a shit. If you're in Russia and in a bunker, you're still gonna die because that nuclear and all that stuff is gonna hit everybody in Russia. So you cannot start a war, and that's why they came out with this rule that no nuclear war. We got to make sure that doesn't happen because we would have destroyed the world because everybody would be dead. Everybody.
And I agree wholeheartedly, but that's the whole point of what I was saying. Our air defense system is not all powerful and all protective, all nonstop. And that was the type of missile that they were able to purchase from China that would have the same strength of multiple Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombs.
Yeah.
So
War Games was the name of that movie, 1983.
War Games. We had that movie, and as a child, I don't remember the name of it, but there was also a TV series that came out that talked about what would happen in the case of a nuclear war.
Right.
Because before it was all atomic bombs.
Right. Yeah.
And nuclear bombs are something a little bit different.
Right. Yeah. Either way, it shouldn't happen. It's not going to happen. And that's why they tried to stop. That's why Obama and them worked with them to stop them from building a nuclear weapon and keep their nuclear ambition down to a point where everybody was happy. And we actually had people in Iran watching them watching there, so we were monitoring it. We were literally monitoring it and making sure that everything was right until who comes in and tears it up. And then our guys got to leave because now they can't monitor it anymore. And Iran's not going to accept that anymore. So then they start their warhead back up. And this went on.
And just as an FYI, we've heard leaks of talks of a ceasefire and all the points of his ceasefire and were pretty much the points of the original nuclear arms
agreement that
we had under Obama.
On Obama.
The one that he destroyed, yes. He just wanted an opportunity to rename it after himself.
Yeah. So now, it's like, it's crazy. Anyway, we got to get out of this. We're 15 minutes over. We try to hold it to an hour, folks. We apologize, but maybe we can talk about this at the beginning of the show next week, you guys. So let's just touch base next week at 5 o'clock. And don't forget to hit like, share, and join our conversation. This is Jerry B and James Boo on the other phone, on the other mic, yelling at you folks, saying, hey, take care, have a blessed and safe week, and we will see you guys next Tuesday at 5 p.m. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Welcome to Respect the Talk with Jerry B.
Respect